It's 2021, but it may not be a great year if you are struggling financially to pay for your studies. So I thought I'd very quickly take you through this website. And the best thing that you can do is take action and try and apply for one of these bursaries. If you're struggling with funding for your studies, go to the website www.zabursaries.co.za. Obviously, this is for South African based students. So when you hit the website, you'll see a list of all bursaries in South Africa for 2020 to 2021. And you can go through a list on their website. So if you scroll down, first of all, they'll give you a bit of an introduction if you're looking to further your studies but lacking the funding to do so. Bursaries that you find on the website can either be partial or full, and some companies offer vacation work. So if you're willing to get, some work experience as part of, completing your qualification, you tie that in with a bursary. That's often a very good option to go for. So on the website, you'll find accounting, arts, commerce, computer science, construction and built environment, education, engineering, government, law, MBA, medical science. And then if you scroll all the way down, on the right hand side over here, you'll see all of these. So let's go into, so I had an engineering bursary with Eskom. I would not have been able to study if I hadn't got my studies paid for by Eskom as a mechanical engineering student. So let's go in here and have a look at the engineering bursaries. So if you go into the engineering section on the bursaries website, you'll go down here. There's quite a bit of ads on this website, which is a bit distracting, but the information looks good just from my initial review of it. So the way they organize it is then to list all the companies or institutions that provide the bursary. So Armscor, as an armaments company, provide a bursary. Even the Cape Winelands District Municipality Mayor provides a bursary. There's a JP Morgan bursary. That's all just for aeronautical and aerospace. Chemical engineering, um, De Beers, Exaro, Goldfields, Lonman. So just my bursary application story, I had to apply to 70 different companies, but eventually got a bursary and got paid out of my bursary eventually. So you must go through resources like this. So let's have a look here. This is now for civil engineering bursaries 2020 and 2021. There's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of options here. So you can almost pick whichever company you want to work for. So let's say you want to work for Sassel. So click on Sassel, go into Sassel, and it'll give you the information about the Sassel Bursary South Africa 2021, bit of information about Sassel, and the different degrees that they would fund. And there's even postgraduate university study bursaries here, and then what they will cover. The bursary will provide full cover for following expenses, registration fees, pocket money is always a good option. Um, More about the bursary, and then obviously eligibility. So you've got to be a South African citizen, matric. Um, so I presume this website will obviously be updated if you're looking to apply then for 2022. So then there's the information for how to apply for the bursary. So go register an account. So there is a bit of work that you have to do. And I implore you to make 2021 your year of action. You're not going to be able to change your circumstances or achieve your goals if you don't take action. So when you see a list of requirements here, don't get put off. Go register an account. And if you've got to register on 20 different websites to apply for 20 different bursaries, you just increased your chances of getting a bursary by 20. And that's all for just sitting down and doing a little bit of work. Maybe you put off a night or an evening of watching television or the latest Netflix film. It'll be there tomorrow night. But sit and go through these websites, log in, fill in the fields, attach the list of documentation. Now, also very important that you are organized at home, that you've got your ID document ready, you've got your matric results ready, You've got a full tertiary record, proof of acceptance or provisional acceptance. Postgraduate students, you'll need a research project proposal, and I teach how to complete research proposals in my course on research proposals. So go and check that out, and you'll have a better chance of getting those bursaries. Let's just check out one or two other types of bursaries here. You can even have a look at student loans, ABSA, FNB, Nedbank, Standard Bank. Let's go and have a look for accounting bursaries. So there's a whole list down here, but let's click on the accounting option as a category of bursaries on this website, and let's go down through here. That's your pay scale, so that's quite interesting. So what the salaries are that you can earn if you go the accounting studies route, and these are all the auditing bursaries. So auditing is a role that you can play in the finance industry. Look at all these auditing bursaries, and being an auditor is an extremely important job. Chartered accountants, there's bursaries. City of Cape Town, Deloitte and Touche, ShopRite, financial accounting bursaries, multi-choice, Johannesburg Water, finance and financial management. If you want to be a financial manager, you could have a look at one of these institutions here and go and click on them and then go through the process. So let's see. So I had a bursary with Eskom, obviously as a mechanical engineer, not in the finance department, but let's just click on Eskom and see what that brings up. So Eskom, about the company, and it is a very good company. I mean, I did all my VAC work there. I obviously studied there, and we need Eskom to be successful. So they need good quality students applying there, and they look like they're still giving bursaries. So you can get an accounting bursary, engineering, they've obviously listed here as well, IT, etc. Those are the eligibility requirements. And then how to apply. So here now it's slightly different. Here they've got a form that you've got to fill in. Then your scholarships for either universities or technicons. They want clear copies, ID documents, motivational letter. In one of my courses, I teach you how to write, it's the Improve Your Job Prospects course. In that course, I teach you how to write a letter that gets the attention of a recruiting manager or somebody that would be receiving applications for bursaries. You can email it to them, hand deliver, post, whatever works for you. There's a selection process. So once again, let's say that you are applying to a number of different bursaries. Keep a spreadsheet somewhere where you list all the bursaries that you're applying for, and then keep a list of all the documentation that you provided. Create a folder on your hard drive by the institution of each of the bursary details that you've provided to them. So look, obviously these closing dates are historical, so I would presume that they will roll over to the current year. And certainly you can get in touch with these people. If there's an email address there, get in touch with them. And if that email address bounces, then find there's a telephone number. Get hold of the telephone number. Phone the person and do what you have to do. As I said, I applied to 70 different institutions. And then I'm very keen to get in touch with the people that run this website because I'd like to have them on the podcast during 2021, because what comes up all the time in my coaching calls with students and in webinars and when I work on my courses and interact with my students is funding issues, funding issues. So so they say that don't contact them if you're trying to apply for bursary, inquiring about to apply. So they do say go through the relevant process, follow the instructions provided, and the instructions are very clear. As you go through each of these, if you look down here on the right hand side, you get the list of all of them. Construction and built environment, education, we went through Jakes Gerwel, and a lot of these are famous people that have want to leave a legacy, and they're sponsoring students. They've made money and they're willing to put that money back into I saw on here that DJ Fresh had actually, so DJ Fresh from the radio, so he's actually provided a bursary That was one of the things that I had a look on here. And DJ Fresh is a radio presenter on 5FM about the bursary program. He awards bursaries to students completing their matric year in 2020. So if you've just completed your matric year in 2020, and here's a condition, you must be studying at the University of Johannesburg in 2021, and it will provide funding for 3 years. Okay, so it might have closed for your first year of study in 2021, but most certainly it's going to be open again to start in 2022. And now is the time to get going with this. Find out what they want, find out what their deadlines are, find out what their requirements are. Make sure you meet all the eligibility requirements. Go through the applications. The application is actually on the University of Johannesburg website. So they obviously administer the bursary, and then DJ Fresh obviously provides the funding. So, if you're in the region of Johannesburg, you want to go to that university. In fact, on the podcast this year, we interview Shante van Tonder, who is the Fourth Industrial Revolution ambassador. And I'm also hoping to get the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Saurabh Saina, to come onto the podcast as well from University of Johannesburg. So this year on the podcast, we're going to be featuring a couple of people from University of Johannesburg. So closing date obviously passed, but it will come up again for 2021. And I would phone the student finance department at the University of Johannesburg, and I would find out, are they still running it this year? What do they anticipate? And make that a focus. Set that as a goal for 2021, that you're going to get a bursary, that you're going to solve your funding requirements. There are options for you to solve your funding requirements with bursaries. So I implore you to make 2021 your year of action. And if you're trying to solve funding related issues, then please do hop onto this website and see if you can apply for a bursary. But I also implore you to get organized, create a spreadsheet, go through the instructions for completing the bursary, but get organized on your side. Get your motivational letters ready, get your documents ready, your ID documents ready, etc. And you will be successful.